We are back for episode number 2 in Fixing the Foxes. Last time out we lost 1-0 against West Ham in the league and 2-0 at home against Manchester City. Since then we drew 2-2 with Everton. We went ahead in this game. Patson Daka scored in the 4th minute, then 2 goals in 4 minutes towards the end of the game. Doucouré and Onana getting the goals, but Patson Daka with the 94th minute equaliser meant we got our first point of the season. We then beat Northampton by 2-0. Patson Daka got the second, Jamie Vardy got the first in that one. Then we played Fulham in the league. We beat them by 2-0. Goals from Patson Daka and Yuri Tillemans in the first 10 minutes. Patson Daka then had a goal chalked off. And we finished up with a game against Leeds where we lost by 2-0. That goal was scored in the 93rd minute by Somerville. We didn't turn in a great performance there at all. Leeds were the better side, but we were so close to getting another point on the board. That means that we currently sit in 16th place, 4 points from 5 games. We have a game in hand over a lot of clubs. We'll play that game in the first game of this episode. It is a local derby against Nottingham Forest, who've started the season pretty well, 6 points from 5 games. Just ahead of us, we could possibly move into 11th place with a victory today, and we should be aiming to win this game. We're going to play through 3 games. We're going to play the Forest game, the Newcastle game and the Spurs game. There's then a long wait. I thought there might be a Carabao Cup tie somewhere in here, but it's a long wait till the 3rd round of that where we play Ipswich. We have also made a couple of signings. We brought the 2 players in on deadline day. Luis Muriel from Atalanta for 8 million, rising to 10 million, and Mateus Uribe from Porto for 6.75 million. Both players are 31. Colombian striker Luis Muriel, 17 finishing, 18 first touch, 16 dribbling. As an advanced forward, he's passing to 13, his technique at 18, his work rate's a little bit low, and in terms of his physicals, his pace is 16. Hopefully he can get us a few goals, because that's what we've really lacked thus far, is an out-and-out goal scorer. Patson Daka is who we've relied on thus far, and Mateus Uribe is a central midfielder or defensive midfielder. Colombian, 31 years of age. Some decent numbers there, a lot of 15s, 16s in the mentals. Physicals are okay, stamina's pretty good as well at 17, tackling is 16, his passing is 14. So those two will go straight into the first 11, which will look a little bit like this. We just have a quick look at the stats of the players. Patson Daka has 4, Jamie Vardy is the only other player to score with 1. So we're getting there, kind of. We're not playing particularly great, but it's a big month ahead of us now, because like I say, if we can beat Forest and we can get anything out of either of these 2 games, should put us in a lot better position. Then we have that month in October where some big games in there, some winnable games, and then there's some tough games as well. The squad for this game against Forest at home: Lafont is in goal, the back 3 is Evans, Soyuncu and Fires. Justin is on the left, Albrighton is on the right, Uribe and Ndidi play in the central midfield. Harvey Barnes is in front of them, and it is Muriel and Patson Daka up front. There was also a sale, by the way, and it was Yuri Tillemans. He went to Real Madrid for £35.5 million. We tried to reinvest that money. We missed out on, I believe it was Che Adams and Tony Martinez at the back end of the transfer window. Just a bit too late getting on those deals. We'd have liked to have had another striker in, but it wasn't to be. So you're all up to date. Let's get into the opening game. Indeed, looks to get the cross in. Muriel gets up and he's headed in. Inside 8 minutes, he gets his first goal for the club. And that was a fantastic header out of nothing. It was a great cross in from Wilfred Ndidi. And Muriel gets up and it's a goal lead inside 7.5 minutes. Throwing was short to Ndidi, got past his man, ball into the near post, and Muriel with a fantastic header. Keeper got nowhere near it. Leicester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Daka back to Albrighton now. Infield to Fires. Fires down the line, that's brilliant. Albrighton, can he get to the byline? Tries to put it back. Second attempt, and Muriel puts it in. 2 goals in the opening 20 minutes of his debut, and Luis Muriel has turned into a fantastic signing here at the KP. 2-0 up, 20 minutes gone. What a start here in this local derby. Lovely little 1-2 into the path of Albrighton. Tried to get the cross in first time. It was blocked. Got it in at the second attempt, and Luis Muriel just stuck out a foot at the near post. It's 2-0. Ball over topping towards Willie Bolly, who's hit the woodwork, and it somehow got away. Harvey Barnes there smashed it out for a corner kick when I probably could have tried to hook the ball away. Didn't get so lucky with it, and Lingard will whip this corner in, outswinger, and it's headed away. And can Muriel get there? He does, to flick it away further. It remains 0-0 here, just over an hour in, and a 3rd goal would be ideal here just to kill this game off, as Justin's under a little bit of pressure there. Back to Johnny Evans now. Soyuncu playing it around the back under a little bit of pressure. Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi into Muriel. First time into Barnes. into Patson Daka with his back to goal. Wood fires out to the right hand side of Albrighton. Ball over the top. It's cleared away. And Didi can win the header. Barnes. And it's into Muriel, who hits the shot from distance. It's just over the bar. A ball is fired long there, but Wood fires can take it down into Castagna. We've changed both wing backs now to freshen it up and hopefully create some more chances here in the final quarter of this game. Dewsbury and Didi switching that towards the left side. Muriel takes it down into Luke Thomas now. Thomas goes past his man. Back to Muriel. Into the box for Didi, who fires it in. It's 3-0. Game, set and match. The 3 points are staying in Leicester. Local derby dealt with accordingly. It's 3-0. Lewis Muriel taking that ball down into Thomas, received it back from Thomas, and Ndidi fires in from around the penalty spot. Great finish. It's 3-0. Serge Aurier coming in from this right hand side, back to Willy Bolly. Willy Bolly into Kouyaté. Kouyaté forced back, has to go back to Bolly, and he has to go all the way back to Henderson in the Nottingham Forest goal. It's a long way out now. Chips it forward, and it's headed away, and Barnes tries to get up for it, but Dennis wins it, but it's dispossessed. Mendy. Back to Evans now, and we can just regroup and get our composure back as Soyuncu gives it back to Thomas here on this near side. Johnny Evans has drifted wide to collect it. Soyuncu into Mendy. Nicely done here. Great passing movement here with 2.5 minutes left, making them work. Patson Daka now into the box. Pulls it back for Muriel, who misses the target. Great chance to get his hat-trick on his debut. Doesn't look like it's going to be as much luck for him there. It has been a good performance. 12 shots to 8, 7 on target, 3 goals. Lewis Muriel with 2. Wilfred Ndidi with the other. Muriel and Ndidi get an assist apiece as well. Muriel played a 9.1 in that game. Fantastic performance all round. Castagna come off the bench to play a 7 as well. It is a victory, and let's look at the league table after that. League table, we are up to 11, 7 points from 6 games, exactly what the doctor ordered, and what a signing. 2 goals on his debut for the man Lewis Muriel. Really well done. He's not going to have a long career with us. He's got a contract for 2 seasons till 2024. By that point he'll be 33, and I think he'll be starting a downward spiral there. But as we just showed you, a man with a finishing of 17, first touch of 18, dribbling of 16, free kick taking a 15 as well. I think we've got some player on our hands here, and the next game is the game against Newcastle, and hopefully we can carry on this form. Just a quick look at the XG table. We're exactly where we should be. We have conceded 3 goals less than we should have done. Points are where we should be, and the goal scored is where we should be as well. We are currently 11th, XG position of 12, so we're doing pretty much what we're performing as well. Nothing really to shout home about there at all. It's an okay start to the season. I'd like to have got a win, especially in that game against Leeds, and something out of the West Ham game as well, where I thought we were really unlucky. But so far so good. We are gradually fixing the foxes. So next up is a mid-table clash, 11th against 12th, as we take on Newcastle. Board are expecting a draw, so are the supporters. So interesting to see that's what they want. I just felt like this should be a game that they'd want us to win to really show that we are a top 10 European pushing side, but draw is the aim for the board and the fans. Let's hopefully go one better as we take on Newcastle today with plenty of changes. And the squad for this game is Lafont in goal, Evans, Fayez and Armati across the back. Thomas and Castagna are the wing backs. Uribe and Ndidi are the 2 central midfielders. Maddison comes back in, and it's Vardy partnering Muriel this time. And hopefully Muriel can continue this start to his career here at Leicester and bag some more goals here at home once again, taking on Newcastle. And we are underway here at the King Power. 2 home games in the space of a week. Both Sunday games as well. Both TV games by the look of it, as Armati picks this ball up now out to Castagna on the right hand side. I expected Newcastle to be a bit higher up the table. Spurs, who we play in the next game, are 3rd. I thought Newcastle might be in around that top 6 area this early on in the season. This ball goes to Uribe, ball towards Ndidi at the far post, headed away, and St Maximin can take it down. On the counter-attack here, Newcastle flooding forward here. St Maximin's been able to run a long way, hits a shot from distance, and Lafont comfortably gets down to his right hand side, gathers the ball in, and the danger is averted there. I thought we might have the first major attack of the game. No such luck there, as they set up with a 4-3-3 with that defensive midfielder as target now. Picks up the ball on the left hand side. Is this going to be one of these games where we're going to be under the cosh for a lot of it, as Joel Linton hits a shot from distance, and that is high and wide. I don't mind if they're going to keep shooting from there. Not massive threats from that sort of distance, but we need to really get some attacks of our own here, as Thomas out to the left hand side and Evans forward to Vardy, first time into Uribe. Maddison fires it out to Vardy. Vardy with the ball over top for Lewis Muriel, who's missed the target. I thought for all the world he was going to hit the back of the net once again. Really good start to his career at Leicester. Great position in there from the 31-year-old Colombian, but at the midway point of the first half it is still 0-0 as Wout fires wins that ball, fires it out towards Castagna, and he goes forward to Muriel, into Maddison now. Vardy's to the left of me, finds Vardy. Vardy's through one-on-one. It's great save by Nick Pope. That is really well done there by Castagna. Marty's under a bit of pressure, but he gets it away. And Thomas now looks forward for Vardy, who makes a great run. Infield to Maddison. Can he go back infield again? He doesn't. He uses Thomas on the left-hand side. Thomas pulls it back to Evans. Evans under pressure from Joe Linton, but he manages to ride the challenge, hang on to the ball. This time Joe Linton wins it back though. And can we regroup? As Trippier has been allowed to bring this a long way here. Goes in field to Isak, back to Sven Botman, out to Maximin. Sven Maximin now, cutting in field, gets into the box, gets the shot away, and it's a poor effort there from Alan Maximin. Still 0-0. Vardy now. Maddison, not really created a lot today, and he's giving the ball away to Joel Linton. Looks forward for Isak, touches it past his man. Isak's through one-on-one. It's a great save there from Lafond. Really proving his worth to this side. A couple of decent saves in these opening few games he's made, and that was a very good stop there, as Isak probably for all the world thought he was going to score and open the scoring in this game as the ball goes into Isak. Isak through for Berardi. Berardi fires it in. Domenico Berardi makes it 1-0. 5 minutes before half time, and I've got to be honest, it's been coming. There's going to have to be some changes made, possibly at half time. Matt Target on the left hand side has had a lot of freedom here in this first half, I've noticed. Isak did well, took it away from his man, laid it into the path of Berardi, who's between the full back and centre back, and he fires into the bottom corner. Leicester 0, Newcastle 1. No changes here at half time. We haven't been great, but we haven't been that outclassed either, and as things stand, we will drop down to 13th in the league, but we've just triggered the press on a few more players, hopefully trying to get us something, as Evans has to go all the way back, fired out to Thomas on the left side, who has space. It's a poor touch though, and Berardi can give it in field to Trippier, and he's under a little bit of pressure now. Thomas does brilliantly well, pull back from Muriel, who taps it into the net. Lewis Muriel gets his third goal for the club in 2 games, and that was really well done here on the near side by Luke Thomas. Kieran Trippier just dawdled on it after receiving the ball from Berardi, just dithered, and Luke Thomas was brilliant there, just dispossessing him and laying it across. And Muriel, who scored all 3 goals from around the 6-yard area, I think. Now it's 1-1 just inside the hour mark, and there's everything to play for now. Wood fires, Soyuncu back to Fires now, puts it into Dennis Pratt, who's come on for James Maddison. Uribe into Ndidi, through for Pratt, and Pratt scores, and it's a really well worked goal there. It's going to be checked for something, but I thought Dennis Pratt's run was brilliant there. I thought he ran past the defender. We're just going to check it though. It's going to count. It is Leicester 2, Newcastle 1. Absolutely fantastic goal, really well worked. Ndidi into Pratt, went past his man, and a great finish past the goalkeeper. It is 2-1 here, and what a turnaround in the second half. Longstaff looks forward for Isak. Target now on the left hand side. Maximan, Longstaff, 4-3 for Isak. Isak with a chance, and he's missed. Oh, Lafont made the save at the near post. Thought he would have gone across him, he didn't, and it was a great save by Owen Lafont, and he comes and collects that corner. Brilliantly done there. So we're into the final 10 minutes or so of this game. We've really had a good second half here. There's 2 more changes left to make, and we'll probably look at making them soon. So that ball goes in for Isak there. He wins the ball, and it's pulled back, and it's a brilliant block by Soyuncu, and now Vardy can bring it away over halfway into the Newcastle half. Under a little bit of pressure now, but he gets away from his man, switched out to James Justin on that far side, into Lewis Muriel to seal the game. He does seal the game. It's his 4th of the season, 2 in both games, sorry for him. It is Leicester 3, Newcastle 1. What a second half performance this has been. And we have got another 3 points, and we've started this episode, 3 games in this episode of course, and we've started with 6 points from 6. Brilliantly done, and we'll move into the top half of the table with this performance. What a signing Lewis Muriel looks like. Leicester 3, Newcastle 1, and if you're looking for a cheap striker on your save, look no further than the 31-year-old Lewis Muriel, who's got 4 goals in 2 games, 8.4 average rating, and we're just going to waste some time right at the end of this game with a couple of players that are really struggling in terms of fitness. So Samare and Mendy are both going to come on in the centre midfield. No real point to these substitutions other than just to wait a few seconds, and we do just that. Leicester City 3, Newcastle 1. We had a really good second half there. Lewis Muriel, Dennis Pratt, and Muriel getting his 2nd of the game, his 4th for us. What a performance, some good numbers there all round by some of the boys, and it is a 3-1 victory. The treble substitution definitely helped, and Dennis Pratt makes a case to start the next game after that performance, after coming off the bench. 7.3 played, just over half an hour. What a performance, and let's have a look at the league table. So after that, we move up to 8th, 10 points from 7 games. We've played a game more than Man United and Brentford, who are below, so we could drop back down to 10th if they win their games. But it is a great start. We take on Spurs in the next game, who have 16 points from 7 games. great chance to pull in the gap on them and hopefully move into European places if we were to win that. It's going to be the toughest game of this episode, the final game of this episode, but the way we're playing so far, we really could turn this around. This second episode has been a hell of a lot better than the first. And again, we bring in the changes once again. This time the away tie at Spurs. Lafont is in goal. Soyuncu, Evans and Fayez are the back three. Justin on the left. Albright on the right. Dewsbury Hall and Uribe are the two central midfielders. Dennis Pratt, after his goal in the last game, starts in that attacking midfield role. And it's Jamie Vardy and Lewis Muriel up front as we look to make it 3 from 3 in this episode and continue our rise up the table. Son will take this corner kick here, opening highlight of this game. Ball whipped in and Basuma heads over. He got a good run on the defender there and it probably should have hit the target. Pretty even thus far in terms of shots and shots on target. Tottenham's XG slightly better, but nothing really to shout home about here in this first half. Very slow moving game thus far, and hopefully we can create something as Soyuncu now with a little bit of space, and it's into Uribe. Ball over the top for Muriel. Can he reach it? He can't. Albrighton though puts into path Muriel. Back to Albrighton. Crossing. Vardy doesn't get up. James Justin into the box now. Can he pull it back? He does pull it back. It's blocked. Soyuncu can win it, and Bentancur cuts that out, but Justin nips in to take the ball off him. Soyuncu infield now to Dewsbury Hall. Little 1-2 as he gets it back. Those two playing it amongst themselves. Into Uribe, into Vardy, who's into the box, fires it, and he's gone in. And I thought Laurie's got a touch there, but he's found his way into the back of the net. Spurs 0, Leicester 1 here, half an hour into this game, and Jamie Vardy gets on the score sheet. Dewsbury Hall and Soyuncu playing it amongst themselves. He went in field to Uribe. Great turn round the corner for Vardy, and it went through the body of Lloris virtually, close to him, between the arm and body. And half an hour in, Leicester lead by a goal to nil, and this has turned into a fantastic episode for us thus far, as there's 5 minutes to go to half time, and it looks as if we're going to get in at half time 1 goal to the good, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered. As a corner kick here on this near side, Dennis Pratt will take it. He'll whip this in, and it's been headed away back to Pratt into Armati, and Daniel Armati fires it in. It's 2-0, 66 minutes on the clock, exactly what we needed here in the second half to extend the lead, and we do just that. It is 2-0. Dennis Pratt with the ball in. It was headed away by Dyer, back out to Pratt. He first time ball into Armati, who just sweeps it home off the inside of the near post. It's Tottenham 0, Leicester 2, and we are on our way to 3 consecutive victories here in the Premier League. And after the first episode, this looked like it was nigh on impossible to happen, but we are doing just that today, as that Luke Thomas nips in there to win the ball off. I believe that is Gabby Barbosa there. Mateus back to Armati now, into Evans. He plays it into Vardy, who's dropped very deep. Pratt, Muriel, Mendy, lovely little pass in here. Really well worked. Vardy now into Mendy. Mendy into Pratt, and Romero can get it away, but Soyuncu wins the header. Emerson Royal takes it down, but Mendy wins it back off him. Mendy getting towards the ball on his right foot. Poor ball in, and Davinson Sanchez can get it away, and Romero can chip it out to Emerson Royal here on the near side. Fired forward. Gabby Barbosa trying to get to it. He does get to it. He's going to get into the box under no real pressure, and he fires it in from a tight angle, and it's 2-1, and that goal came out of absolutely nothing. Ball down the right channel. Gabby Barbosa picked it up, got away from the defender, and he was allowed to just come in. No one went to him, and he fires the ball in from a tight angle, and it's 2-1, and that is not what we needed there. As we go into stoppage time, it looks as if we're going to hold on. Nothing happened after that goal. Tottenham 1, Leicester 2. We were the better side as well. Our XG was only 1.05. It was better than Spurs. 15 shots to their 10. 9 on target to their 4 on target. Vardy on the half-hour mark. Armati midway through the second half, and Gabby Barbosa getting one back on the 73rd minute, but they didn't provide anything else. The back three playing really well. Soyuncu, Evans and Armati. And we get away with 3 victories in this episode, 9 points, and that should move us into the European places. We'll have a look at the league table, and we'll tell you when we're coming back for the next episode. But this has been an absolutely fantastic performance from the boys in these 3 games. 3 wins, and we move onwards and upwards. League table looks like this: 13 points from 8 games. Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea all have games in hand over us, so we could move down to 8th place looking at this. But nonetheless, it is better than where we started, from 16th up to 6th in this episode, with 3 back-to-back victories. It is fantastically done, and the formation is settling nicely. I was a bit concerned after the first few games when we weren't getting the results. Obviously, the defeats against West Ham and Man City, the draw against Everton, that defeat against Leeds as well, slightly concerned. But the players are seeming to adapt to it really well. We've picked up 3 wins. We've got a winnable game next time out against Brighton after the international break. 2 tough games against Liverpool and Chelsea. Wolves, Bournemouth and Arsenal are also there as well. So what we are going to do is we are going to play through, and I think we're going to come back for a bumper episode towards the end of October. And I think we're going to play Wolves, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Brentford, Man United, and show highlights of the Ipswich game as well. Bumper episode before the World Cup break. After that, we'll come back for the Villa and Palace game between Christmas, well, from Boxing Day and New Year's Eve. Maybe throwing the Southampton game as well, the New Year period at that. And then we'll push on and try and get this season finished as quick as we possibly can, show as many games as we can as well. So I think that is the plan for the next couple of episodes in this week. It will be Wolves, Bournemouth, Arsenal, Brentford and Man United with highlights of the Ipswich game tomorrow. The following day it will be Villa, Palace and Southampton in that Christmas New Year period after the World Cup. We'll then play through up until around about April. I think we'll play, maybe show some games at the start of February. Liverpool, Brighton and Southampton are in there. We would have already shown Man City, West Ham, Palace, Villa, Man United, Brentford. So we may then come back for the final few games of the season. Maybe Chelsea and Arsenal double. And then we'll round off with games probably against Everton, Forest and Leeds. It's a nice sort of run in at the end of the season, especially if we've got something to fight for. 4 definitely winnable games. Fulham we've already beat, Everton we've drew with, Forest we've beat, and Leeds we lost in the last minute, but we are playing a lot better now. That is the plan for the rest of this week, to get this season over and done with by the end of this week and move on to season 2 in next week. It's been a fantastic episode for us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. The views on that first episode were absolutely fantastic. Hopefully we can continue this throughout the beta save. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.